Hello guys, Joe from Makgeoli, and we are at Makgeoli at our brewery. We're about to, I guess, have a class very soon. In a couple of hours, but I was thinking I'll manage to squeeze in a video that I wrote a blog post about. And the video will be about making more premium makgeoli. Now, what the video is generally about is making a two-stage makgeoli. Now, as you guys, perhaps if you've taken my class in Seoul, South Korea, then you might know that making makgeoli, there's not only one way of making makgeoli, but there's actually many ways. And the more stages or the multi-stage type of fermentation that we do, we tend to raise the alcohol level, and which also will we'll have to again ferment for a longer and slower time. But without being too detailed right now, the whole purpose of making another stage is to raise that alcohol level so we can enjoy more premium makgeoli, especially if Cheongju or our clear rice wine is something that you're looking after. Then making a two-stage recipe is a must. At least a two-stage or a three-stage. If you don't know all these stages, what I'm talking about, then you can definitely refer to our resources, and perhaps you'll get to understand that a little bit better. Or you can also pick up our book, which is on sale in Amazon. You just type in home brewing Korean rice wine and then you'll find it. Or also you can find our online course, which is called The Complete Brewer, and we definitely cover all of these topics more in depth, and you'll also find a lot of videos including how to make your own nuruk. So again, that being said, we had a class, I guess a month ago or so. I had a student coming back after taking one of our basic classes. He came back to learn this two-stage makgeoli making recipe. And this recipe also demands not demands, but we learned, I taught him how to make the bombok method, which is a type of porridge that has a 1:3 rice to water ratio. I won't go too much into detail in this video. If you want to see the recipe and how it follows, then I think you should read the blog post and follow along with the video, and then you'll notice that things will make a lot more sense. But that being said, let's get into the video of Chad and his partner making makgeoli here at Baekkoseng. Here we go. Ooh. Yes. Okay. Okay, so I like the After making our bombok and putting it into our vessel, like you guys saw in the video, it's going to be this kind of goopiness rice porridge mixture. And now what's going to happen from here is we're going to have to wait about 3 days. That's a good point of reference. 3 days fermenting at ideally about 25 degrees Celsius. Now, one of the hardest things to make these two-stage type of recipes is to kind of figure out how do I go from my first stage, or misul in Korean, into my second stage in this case, which would be a totsul. Now, the best way to kind of figure that out is to using our senses. So meaning what you see, what you smell, what you listen to, And also, yes, what you taste. Now, there's no magic machine that will tell you, okay, it's time to put in your second stage. If that was the case, then things would be just much easier, right? So as you try and repeat this process, then you'll start getting a better understanding on when to do it. But the ideal theory behind it is that perhaps check or something will happen ideally every 12 hours. So by day one, as you guys can see, it'll be very goopy. But afterwards, slightly going by day two, things will be slightly more watery. You're going to smell a little bit of carbonation. So you want to give it a stir. And when you give it a stir, things are going to be much more easier. You're going to smell again that carbonation. If you put your ear closely, you're going to hear a little bit of crackling sounds. And those are all good signs that your makgeoli is indeed fermenting. After that, now what's going to happen is gradually all those sounds and all that bubbling will subside. And when things are kind of dropping and you notice that, which is perhaps around, it should be ideally, again, as a point of reference, about day 3, then what's going to happen is that's when we need to add our second stage, which is our totsul, meaning we're going to have to steam kodubap, and you'll see that as the rest of the video goes. But that's the idea behind it. Another very strong visual cue is that you're going to see some of that wheat bran from the nuruk come up, and you'll see not very tiny bubbles, but bigger bubbles too. So again, and when you maybe shake your vessel, you're going to see that's super watery. Yes, but again, there's no perfect like scenario where, you know, every time you make a type of makgeoli is going to look exactly the same, but those are signs for you to keep in mind. Now, if you're again kind of clueless and you're a beginner brewer and you just need to practice and you just want to make sure, then best thing to do is do it in day 3. Okay, and now our friend Chat is going to do the second stage for our pambok. So here we go. Okay, so we've added the steamed rice or kodubap into our first stage, as you saw in the video. And then the question is, how do you know what to look out for, right? So ideally for these types of makgeoli, we want to ferment long and slow. So we're looking at least 20 to 25 days, or perhaps all the way up to a month. Now, I would say when you keep it for much longer like that, don't keep it too high at 25 degrees Celsius. I perhaps like to keep it in the mid-20s or 22 degrees Celsius or whatnot. Again, a very easy thing to apply or concept to apply, like I always teach in my classes, is if you are in a room where you're perhaps just wearing a t-shirt and you're not hot or cold, and you're feeling comfortable, then your makgeoli will be comfortable. Okay, now that being said, we ferment this for about 20 20 to 30 days or so. But let's say around day 20 or 25, you're gonna start see 3 layers, okay? A layer of separation, the middle one being mostly the alcohol, and that's a good sign. Now, also when you open your vessel, do not open it frequently, okay? At that point, what we want to do is we just want to keep it, fermenting, doing its own thing. But yes, what you'll notice also around that day 25 to day 30 is you're going to start seeing a little thin layer of alcohol that's going to rise slightly more and more and more above the rice. And when that happens, especially for myself, for that 2 stage, that's when I like to grab a little tasting spoon or bar spoon, and I like to dip on it and drink it and see how it tastes. And if it's something that I like, then I can decide to filter it or not. Now, there are other people who rather just wait for much longer until the whole alcohol comes up. You can also do that too, but I always advise, if you're doing that, then try to keep your makgeoli a little bit on the cooler side, if anything, right? So again, when you see those 2 signs, at least that I just mentioned, and what you need to do is grab a filter bag, throw all that makgeoli in there, squeeze, and enjoy. Okay. Now, what you have right there again is your wonju. Now, if you don't know what wonju is, again, you can check our resources, or perhaps go to, if you're a beginner makgeoli brewer, go to our chapsal makgeoli making recipe, and then there you'll find out everything you need to learn as to make your first makgeoli. But again, yes. So once you have your wonju there, you can enjoy it, smash it, get drunk, have fun, have a little party. Or if not, then you can just grab the wonju, put it in a vessel, wait until that separation happens, and once that clear rice wine comes out fully, has a nice color, then you can start scooping it out and enjoy your cheongju. And there you go. That's today, my friends. That's the video for our 2-stage makgeoli using the bombok recipe. If you want more details on every little single thing, then I suggest going to our website and reading this specific blog, and you'll have a little more insights that we have there in the blog written for you guys. All right, that was Joe, me from Baekosen Makgeoli. I gotta teach a class very soon. I'll show you guys. We're expecting about 8 people today, which is going to be a lot of fun, a lot of drinking, perhaps. Yes. But if you want to, perhaps if you're in the Seoul area or if you're visiting Korea, please come visit us, and you'll learn how to make this Korean traditional drink, and we'll teach you everything to make you a confident brewer. All right. This is Joe from Baekosen Makgeoli. Peace out. Thank you.